Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the podcast. If you are dealing with a dead Instagram account, it is dry like the Sahara Desert. You are hearing crickets. Maybe you've stepped away from your account for a little bit, took a little break, you came back, things are not working well. Maybe you switched from a personal account to a business account and it's just not working out, or maybe you were growing on Instagram and now you're just not growing. This episode is for you. I'm talking all about reviving a dead Instagram account, and I know from personal experience what this is like, because guess what? For the last year on Instagram, I have not grown. I've actually lost lots of followers on Instagram, and it has been a struggle to not lose tens of thousands of followers and fall into the biggest regression. But I have turned things around recently. I've started to grow. I don't want to jinx myself, but I think I've figured it out. So I know how it feels personally. It can be super, super discouraging when your posts are not getting the reach and engagement, especially though when you're not gaining followers and you're doing the things that you think you should be doing. Trust me, you're not alone. But the good news is you don't need to start over, most likely. So in this episode, I'm going to give you a simple step-by-step plan to breathe new life into your account. Okay, let's dive in. Let's tackle the first question, the big question that I know you're thinking. Should I start a new account? The short answer is probably not. Now, there are exceptions though. So if you've changed your niche multiple times to vastly different niches. Now, let me give you an example. Let's just say that your niche was cooking and you were sharing recipes that were for couples, healthy, couple recipes. And then you decided that you wanted to start sharing like stuff about physical therapy or something like that. Like those are vastly different, right? And if you grew an audience for this like cooking recipe niche and then you decided to do physical therapy, most of those people are probably not going to want to come over to your niche over here, physical therapy. In that case, it might be good for you to start a new Instagram account. So if your niches are vastly different and if you built an audience in one niche and you're trying to pivot to a vastly different niche, that might be a really good time for you generally to start a new account. Now, another example, if you have a really large following, but you have a lot of inactive people, like I'm talking like, okay, 50,000, 60,000, 100,000, 200,000 followers, and you're getting like 0 to like 5, maybe 10 likes on your content, where to the point where like I'm actually embarrassed, that might be a good time for you to start over. Not all the time, but generally. Now, another thing is I want you to go into your settings on Instagram. I want you to go over to the search bar and type in account status. Go to account status, and if you have all green check marks, you're good to go. Definitely don't need to start a new account. If you see something in there that is like, I think it's a red X, check on that. If you can't get that fixed, meaning that Instagram won't take that like X off of your account, it might be time for a new fresh start, because it means that Instagram is limiting your reach in some sort of way. And unless you can get that taken off of your account, be back in good standing, then it's going to be really hard for you to grow. And that actually might be your problem. Go check that literally right now and see if anything is showing up there. So go into your settings, go to account status, and check that out. Now, all that being said though, for about 90% of people, I don't recommend starting over. I would say even probably 95% of people. And why is that? It's because reviving an existing account works majority of the time. When I first started my Instagram account, my account was a personal account. And what I hear a lot of times is people are like, okay, well, I have a personal account. I want to start doing business, like posting about a specific niche or whatever. And they're really struggling at first. And I used to struggle too. And so it just takes time when you're transitioning, especially if you're like a personal account, to, I don't want to say like weed out your friends and family, but to bring in other people who are your actual ideal client, who are going to be interacting with that specific niche content, because your family and friends are probably not going to be interacting with your niche specific content. If I'm going to guess, they might be supportive and maybe they are commenting, great, but majority of the time that's not the case. And it just takes time for you to build an audience of your ideal client who are going to be engaging. And that engagement is important to help you to grow. So when I first started, going back to what I was saying before, when I first started on Instagram, my account was a personal account. Then I used it for network marketing, and now it is what you see today. And my niche has slightly pivoted and changed over time for sure. My my followers weren't my ideal clients, but I stuck with it. I stayed consistent, and slowly over time, my audience transitioned to be my ideal client. And also, my content was like more niche specific too. So, no overnight success there by any means, but you can definitely revive your dead Instagram account. My Instagram account, I mean, I was convinced that I could not grow on Instagram. I was convinced. I was like, there's no freaking way I can grow. I have tried literally everything. This was back in 2021. Now, fast forward to 2024, when I haven't grown in a year, I'm like, okay, what in the actual H is going on? So I'm like, I have to try new things. I have to figure this out because this is not working out for me. So, with all that being said, though, here's another thing. So, starting a new account does put you at a disadvantage because people are less likely to follow an account with only a handful of posts and no social proof. So, I was actually just talking to one of my brother's roommates. He's in college right now, and my brother's roommate just started a drone business, and I was talking to him about how important it is for him to build up his portfolio and to get some posts on his Instagram account because of exactly what I was just saying, where people are less likely to follow an account with only a handful of posts and no social proof. So reviving your current account, even if you have small but active follower base, it gives you a better foundation to work with. So unless you're one of those things that I was just sharing before, like one of those rare situations where I recommend starting a new account, just roll with what you've got and stick it out. It might take some time for you to grow, a little bit more time than you probably want. And that's usually how it is. And as in entrepreneurship, it pushes you to that edge where you're like a little bit uncomfortable. Where you're like, I don't know if I should keep going, but here I am. I'm going to keep going. And then you have that breakthrough moment. So with all that being said, let's dive into actually the steps of reviving your dead Instagram account. Step number 1, focus on a niche. So once you've decided to stick with your account, which if you're listening to this episode, you probably have, the next step is to get so clear on your niche. If your content has been all over the place, it's time for you to get specific. A clear niche helps your audience to understand what you're all about and why they should follow you and what to expect from you moving forward. It builds trust and it really sets the tone for what is to come. And you need to update your Instagram bio to reflect your niche because your bio is really prime real estate. And it's one of the first places that people look when they're going to decide whether or not to follow you. So really getting clear on your bio, optimizing that, and then making sure your content delivers on whatever your niche's promise is, right? So if you say in your bio that you're going to help busy moms lose weight, your posts need to reflect that, right? You need to be sharing recipes and workout tips and relatable mom moments that tie into health and fitness, right? So there needs to be so much clarity where I click on your account and within 5 seconds, I'm like, I know exactly what it is that you're doing and who it is that you help. Okay. Step number 2, once you've nailed that, once you've optimized and you got your niche, you're going to refresh your aesthetics. This is so key. Do not skip over this step, okay? So key. This thing right here alone, this step number 2 right here, has been really, really helpful for me on my Instagram account. Okay, let's talk about it. So a refreshed aesthetic or branding or whatever it is that you want to call it is a really powerful way to make your content and your account feel new and exciting and get people re-engaged, even if it's like the same content you're putting out, right? So here's how you're going to do it. You're going to update your branding. So you're going to choose a new font and potentially new colors. You don't have to choose new colors. I'm not saying if you're in neutrals, you have to go out and choose like super bright colors. Not at all what I'm saying. You might keep your colors the same. I personally kept my colors the same, but I changed my fonts in a very, very visibly noticeable way to the point where people are reaching out to me and they're like, oh my gosh, new branding. Like it's grabbing people's attention and it's fresh. Okay. So you're going to change your branding. You're going to hopefully elevate your branding in some sort of way. This might mean that you need to go out and hire someone, or maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways that you can update your branding. I personally was on Pinterest and I would, gosh, what is it called? There's a website, maybe a few websites probably, where you can upload different pictures and it'll pull out different fonts and it'll tell you what those fonts are. So like I would go on Pinterest and I would look up a bunch of fonts and like I was actually thinking, I was looking at different people's posts on Pinterest and I would take screenshots of those and I would upload those into like this font analyzer and then it would tell me like similar fonts to that. And so that's how I came up with my new like fonts that I'm using is by visually looking at, okay, I like that, and then piecing things together. And I actually use ChatGPT too. So I found my main, like, I guess the word would be like header font from Pinterest. It's not the exact same one that was on Pinterest. It was like a different variation. And from there, I typed into ChatGPT. I was like, hey, here's my header font. What are some subtitle and paragraph font? Subtitle? That subheader? Same thing, I think. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, subheader and paragraph fonts that would pair really well with this. This is the vibe I'm looking for. ChatGPT was really helpful in that too. So that is number one there. Number two is focus on good lighting. So lighting alone changes everything. Changes everything. I can tell whether or not you have good lighting in your videos. The algorithm can tell. So make sure your videos are clear, that they're crisp, that they're well lit, whether that's natural lighting or a ring light, whatever it is, you need good lighting. If you don't have good lighting, that's step one, even before a niche. Like, go out and get better lighting. And maybe that's literally just opening the curtains in your room. Okay. The next thing is your thumbnails. So what is actually showing up on your feed? Now, am I saying that you have to have these perfectly curated Canva cover photos? No, not at all what I'm saying, but it does need to be visually appealing. So if you do need to go back to some of your past posts and maybe upload like a new cover photo to make your feed look a little bit more cohesive for a minute before you like it gets pushed down the little feed, do that, okay? Or if you're like, hey, maybe the video aesthetic isn't very, or the video itself isn't very aesthetic, and maybe you don't want that exact look on your feed, maybe you go out and create a more curated cover photo just so that visually on your feed it is more appealing, okay? So your profile, it is your profile, meaning your Instagram account, it's your storefront. It needs to be visually appealing and cohesive, okay? When someone lands on your account, they should be immediately drawn in by that visual appeal. They should understand your vibe. They should be compelled to follow you. Of course, obviously, knowing your niche and everything's optimized. But on top of that, the visual appeal is going to be like, oh yes, hitting follow, okay? Visual appeal. Step number 3, you're going to remove inactive followers. Before you start posting, whether this is like, hey, I haven't posted in a long time and I'm coming back and I want to start posting, maybe you, whatever it is, before you start posting, clean up your follower base. And here's why. Instagram's algorithm prioritizes engagement. If you have a large portion of your followers that are inactive, or maybe they're spam accounts and bots, whatever, they are dragging down your engagement rate. And that's telling the algorithm that your content isn't worth showing and pushing out to new people. So thankfully, Instagram has introduced a new feature to help you with this. Your account might not have this yet. My account doesn't have it yet. Crossing my fingers that we all get access to this as soon as possible. But if you go to your followers list in Instagram, so if you go to your profile, you click on, followers in your profile, Instagram will now flag accounts that they suspect are inactive or spam. But then you can also go into your follower list. It'll flag new accounts that are following you, but it'll also look at past accounts. And so you can have it where I think there's an option. Again, I don't have this, so I'm speaking from what I've read on like blog posts and whatever, YouTube videos. I didn't read on my YouTube videos, I listened to it. Anyways, in your followers, I think there's like a button that says like remove, and it'll remove them. So that's the only way I recommend though, removing followers. The reason why is because if you don't use it, use the exact tool that Instagram has given you, what could happen, and I have seen this happen. This is not me just like trying to scare you. I have actually seen this happen, and I don't want this to happen to you. If you go into your Instagram following and you remove a mass amount of followers, the exact number, I don't know. So I would say don't do more than 5 a day. Truly do not do more than 5 a day, because I don't want this to happen to you. Instagram might flag you as doing a follow, unfollow type of method, because it's just suspicious activity when you go into your followers and you just remove a mass amount of followers, okay? It's suspicious activity. Your flag is probably going to be accounted. Wow, your account is probably going to be flagged, so just don't do that, okay? Please don't do that. I do not want anything to happen to your account. So if you don't have the setting or the tool, feature, whatever you want to call it, in Instagram where you can go into your followers and remove. Don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. You can still revive your dead Instagram account. Okay, step number 4. You're going to introduce your new direction. This is whether or not the direction is new. So now that your profile is updated, your bio, your account, visually appealing, optimized, you have your niche, everything's clear, your follower base is cleaned up, it's time to introduce your new direction. So I want you to create a post that tells your audience where you're going. What is it you are going to do with your Instagram account? Who are you going to help? What are the problems that you're going to solve? Set expectations. What type of content can they look forward to? That you're going to create a post. I would probably do it as a carousel post, but you could also do it as reel as well. But you're just going to share that new direction. And again, this is whether or not the direction is new. If you're like, hey, I'm sticking with the same exact niche, that's totally fine. Reintroduce it. Maybe people missed it. Maybe people are following you and they don't even realize that they're following you. And then they see that post and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to keep following, or maybe I don't want to follow. Whatever it is, there's no harm in posting this, okay? It's basically like a reintroduction type of post where it's like, hey, this is who I am, this is why I'm here, this is what you can expect from me, all that good stuff, okay? It's going to set the tone for everything that comes next. Step number 5, you're going to post 10 pieces of high quality content. After you just did that like introduction, new direction type post, then you're going to do 10 pieces of high quality content. And this is where you really showcase the value that your account offers. You're not pitching your offers. You are not selling anything. You are only solely value focused. And I'm talking like quality times 1,000, like best pieces of content that you ever freaking created. It's probably going to take you a lot of time to create these pieces of content because that's how much intention and time and energy and thought you're going to put into these pieces of content, okay? Does it always have to be this way moving forward? No. But if you want to revive your dead Instagram account, this is so freaking important, okay? You are going to put so much time and energy and effort into creating this gorgeous, so valuable piece of content that it's going to blow people's minds, okay? Provide tangible wins. So each post should give your audience something that they can implement right away, whether that's a quick tip, a hack, a tutorial, whatever it is, okay? The goal is to create a feed that is so valuable that anyone landing on your profile will immediately want to follow you. No brainer decision, right? Also because the visual appeal, your bio is optimized, you have your niche, it's so clear who it is that you're helping, but also because it's so valuable, okay? So that's step number 5. You're going to post the 10 pieces of content. Now, step number 6, this is so important, okay? So important. This is probably the most important step. Now that your account is set up with your 10 pieces of valuable content, you did your new direction, reintroduction type post, and it's optimized to convert, it's time for you to create your 12th post. This is important. This piece of content should be so valuable, it could be a paid offer. This kind of post is going to make your audience stop scrolling, save it, share it with their friends. They're going to be thinking, holy crap, this is freaking amazing, okay? Here's why this works. You are setting up your account to capitalize on the momentum of this post, okay? This post is going to hopefully create momentum. It should create momentum if you follow these steps. And when new people land on your page because of this post, they're going to see a fully optimized profile with high quality content, aesthetically pleasing visuals, and it's going to make them hit the follow button. So once you've posted this, and I would actually think about the logistics of this before you actually post, you're going to drive as much traffic to this post as possible, okay? If you have an email list, even if that email list is outdated, you are going to send an email to this email list and you're going to say, go check out this post. Okay, do more than just that in the email, but you get what I'm saying. You're going to tell the email list to go check out the post. You're going to share it with your community. Maybe you have students inside of offers. Maybe you have just friends and family. Maybe whatever it is, you're going to share it with every single person you can possibly think of, okay? And you're going to share it. You're going to try and get them to engage with that post as soon as it is posted, okay? Obviously, not everyone's going to engage with it as soon as it's posted, but as close as to when it is posted as possible, do that, okay? You're also going to use direct message automation. Whether you do this manually or whether you actually use a software like ManyChat for direct message automation, really truly doesn't matter. I recommend direct message automation just because it's going to save you time, but you're going to have a call to action statement set up on that post where someone is going to want to comment. So let's just say that you created this post, which again is so valuable that could be a paid offer, and you say comment 2 below, and I'm going to send you 2 more tips or 2 more tutorials on XYZ. And those things are going to be so sought out. People are going to want those things so much that they have no choice but to comment. Okay. And so that's going to increase engagement as well. And of course, all the other things that you did where you send it out to your email list, maybe you have other platforms, maybe you're on TikTok and maybe you're on Pinterest, whatever it is, you're going to drive as much traffic to that post as possible. And again, this is going to work because what's going to happen is the algorithm is going to see so many people commenting on that piece of content. It is going to get pushed out in the algorithm. It's going to reach more people. Those new people are going to come see your Instagram account, which is fully optimized. You're going to see there's going to be high quality content there, and it's just going to be good. This is like the full package. Okay. Now, step number 7 is actively engage. Okay. So while your posts are gaining traction, you need to engage with people. I would spend as much time as you possibly can, as much time as it takes for you to engage with every single comment and people who are direct messaging you. Okay. And step number 8, then, this is actually truly the most important one, because here's the truth. 12 posts alone is not going to grow you to 1,000 new followers, probably not even 10,000 new followers. Definitely not 10,000 new followers. Definitely not 100,000 new followers, right? And I know you want to get to that point. So this is where step number 8 comes in. Buckle up. Buckle up. This is a good one. Commit to consistency. Consistency shows your audience and Instagram that you are here to stay. Does consistency mean that you need to post every day? No. Just pick a posting schedule, whether that's 4 times a week, whether that's 6 times a week, whatever it is, stick to it. I recommend no less than 4 times a week if you're really looking to take Instagram seriously and grow. I don't think you need to be posting 2 times a day though. So anywhere between 4 to 7 times a week. And you're going to show up daily on your Instagram stories to keep your account active and engaged and to build community. And you're just going to keep going. You're going to keep going because here's the thing. While those 12 posts are going to help you to create momentum, it's not going to change everything for you. It is going to help give you a freaking solid foundation to everything that you do moving forward. But consistency is the name of the game. And if you are not willing to commit to step 8, if you can't commit to step 8, then do not do any of the other steps because it's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to happen. You going viral in those 12 posts, probably not going to happen. You hitting, again, 1,000 followers in those 12 posts, probably not going to happen, right? But it's giving you the base to be able to do all of the things that come next. So to recap, number 1, don't start over unless you absolutely need to. Number 2, clear your niche, update your bio, optimize your profile. If you need help with that, go check out IG University. Number 3, refresh your aesthetics, new branding, high quality lighting. Maybe you need to update your cover photos. 4, introduce your new direction with a post about who it is that you're helping, what to expect, who it is that you are. Then you're going to post 10 high quality pieces of content that highlight your value, opinions, tangible wins, things that are so unique. You want those to stand out, okay? I'm not talking like go Google something on some topic and then create a piece of content out of it. No. Like it needs to be so freaking unique and different that people are like, wait a second. I haven't heard this before. I haven't seen this done in this way before. I'm going to follow. Then you're going to create a super valuable 12th post and you're going to drive as much traffic to it as possible. Then you're going to engage with your community as much as possible. And then this is the most important one. You're going to commit to consistency, posting 4 to 7 times a week, and you're going to continue to do that and maintain momentum. If you are ready to stop struggling with Instagram and start having clarity around how to show up and get results and how to build a content strategy that helps you to turn viewers into followers and followers into customers. IG University is calling your name. It is the last Instagram resource for growth that you will ever need, and I can't wait to see you inside. The link is in the show notes.